Good morning, Pat Winter here. I just finished a commission junk journal, which is in a sea theme, and it is titled Seaside Adventures. And I got the title, I wanted something simple but appropriate because it's going to a home near the sea, and she wanted to use it kind of like a coffee table book, but also something that she can record her beach outings while she's on vacation. So the title and some of the images and ephemera come from Carrie Ann's Shabby Art Boutique Handmade Club. And it's over 200 pages, but I forgot the final count. So let's start with the tassel on the side. For my crazy quilting days, I've hung on to this beautiful applique, but this is the book I guess it was being saved for, because it just goes perfectly. I love that center color. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a beautiful teal aqua. And I just have a little bottle of tiny seashells and a glass thing with the mariner's compass and a real seashell and a couple little baubles, Journey, and some rhinestone chain and some pretty fibers that just remind me of mermaids, and of course a little seahorse, a little acrylic seahorse. So that's what dangles on the side. And the front, I did a collage in Photoshop and added some a little blue crab for her. That's a special meaning, and cheesecloth. That, and the cover I waxed it and added a little beaded applique that reminds me of a sea urchin. And the clasp, this just reminded me of an octopus. I don't know if you can get that from that clasp, but anyway, she wanted a clasp like this, so it's nice and easy to open. So let's open it and see what's inside. Okay, first we have a little pen, because she loves the little pens that I put in most of my journals. And this one just has a little bling on it. It's covered in lace. It's aqua and has little starfish dangling. And this is a writing board, nice and hard, that you can put in a soft page behind it, because I got it pretty much filled, and you can easily write on your lap. So the first page, it has a seagull and some Victorian or vintage ladies, and in the seagull it's like a little tuck spot with a couple of tickets that she could jot a little note on, and a couple down here. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do this today, because yesterday I was at my mother's making tea, and I don't know if you can see, I got a lovely little boil there. The top came off the kettle and the water came out over my hand, and it was not pretty. But I think I scared the cat too. So anyway, I put aloe on it and it's better, so we're doing this, so I can send it off to its new home. This page is just coffee stained and has a little flip up, which you can jot quite a few little notes on there, little memories. Then we have a pocket with an envelope, and inside is just a piece of matching paper to journal a few special memories. I'm going to just set this aside. And then of course a journaling card that I backed with the coffee stained paper. And this is from one of Carrie Ann's, I think it's the June of last year, but I'm not positive, from the Handmade Club in Shabby Art Boutique. She has the most beautiful Victorian shabby offerings each month for a very small fee. And this is from Maria. Maria's, I'll put the kit sources below this video because I cannot remember them all. But this is just a pretty image. I put some stickles on there. And I love these pages. Some vintage crochet. And all of the pages, if they don't have a lace or a fabric border, I put a tab. So there's a lot of tabs in here, but I just find it easier to turn the pages when you have tabs. They don't stick together as much. And most of them have little dangles. And in here there's a tiny little seahorse. I don't know if you can see that embellishment inside of there. And he's captured in there. That's actually a little fingernail charm that you can get at Sally's. I'm sure you can get them online too, but that's where I found it. Another pretty page with some vintage lace. And another journaling card and an envelope that I believe just has a piece of nice paper in it. Well, I don't want to open that. I think it's a full sheet of paper. And there's another dangle. It's a pretty little fish. And these are from the Shabby Art Boutique Handmade Club kit. And they're just seashells. I thought would be perfect to jot a little note or a special date. And they're just so pretty. And this one I just turned into a tuck spot. And here's an octopus, which has a special meaning to her, but I could not find the right color, so I'm hoping this will do. Some more beautiful old crocheted trim. And this is one of Maria's tabs from one of her kits. She has several ocean-themed, sea-themed kits. Some more vintage lace with a little dangle. And a pocket with, this is one of those envelopes, I've got to watch my finger, that you, I think it's called a petal envelope, but it has cards that she can jot notes on. And a nice big coffee stain backed journaling card. I will fix this when I'm finished. And a little squid tab and seashell. And this pocket has an envelope that has some pretty sea-themed tags. I just love that girl listening to the conch shell. And then a couple stickers are in there, some vellum stickers. And this is, I just turned into a little notebook. Whoop. And I put a lot of poems in here because I love poems. And in the centers of each of the 5 signatures, I just added some fabric tape to reinforce it. So, and I believe I'm going to start doing that from now on. It just seems more sturdy, and it'll prevent any ripping from, overuse, which hopefully everyone is using theirs, but I don't think everyone does. But I'm hoping that they do jot notes in their journals. Even though I know they're overly decorated, I just can't help it. But the people who do purchase them, they understand that, and that's what they're looking for. So I guess I don't have to apologize. And the recipient of this, well, her name is Pam, so I'm just going to refer to her as Pam. She loves seashells, so I did add several seashell-themed items in this journal. And here's another of Carrie Ann's shell. This is from, and this is also from Carrie Ann. Pretty little journaling tags or papers. And this pocket, I just printed a little saying on it. And this is just a coffee day plain security envelope that I kind of stole from my husband's office. I took a bunch of them and coffee dyed them, and I love the shape. There's like the old-fashioned regular letter. And if my penmanship was nice, I would address this, but it is horrible. I take after my father. He scribbled, I scribble. That's life. So a little bingo card you can flip up, write a little note, write on the back with a marker or something. And here's a little rubber stamp of a sunbather facing the ocean. Journaling space, more dangles, more pretty cards from Carrie Ann from Shabby Art Boutique. And I just tucked down here. Oops. And another rubber stamp of some sunglasses. You gotta wear your shades on the beach, whether you're hunting for mermaid tears or just running around with the kids. A nice heavy double-sided card. Another little saying, dance with the waves, move with the sea, let the rhythm of the water set your soul free. And I sewed around many of the pages because that's how I like to double them up for a little more durability. So instead of just gluing them, I do like to sew them, and then I just kind of grunge them up a little bit around the edge. That's one of Maria's collections. And this is just tea-dyed with a little vintage lace and a little dangle with the seashell tab. Victorian boy at the sea. And here's a little piece of netting, which I do not know which friend gave this to me, but thank you. And some journaling cards, papers. It just fits right down in the netting. And I put a little bit of stickles in the eyes. And I ran a piece of sari silk down the edge for a little decoration, kind of beachy. And I just used tickets for just a simple, plain piece of paper for a quick note, some vintage lace. And this is a nice big journaling card with a pretty seahorse from Maria's, one of her kits. In this corner tuck, you can just gently open the top. It just has a tiny piece of Velcro and a nice space to write a note. There's a little card tucked in here. Never lose your sense of wonder. And this is just a piece of burnout fabric that I had dyed. And a little piece of cheesecloth rose and gather tag, which I should move because he's getting crinkled. And a little seahorse charm. Plenty of journaling pages that I left against my will. It's so hard for me to leave pages alone. It's terrible. There's another little cheesecloth rose with a dangling starfish, and a nice big journaling card with a little bit of cheesecloth. And a little envelope seed packet with just a plain piece of paper in it. Sometimes you just want to write something on a plain piece of paper. And this, I saw it in a magazine, and I'm not sure. I think it was Somerset Studio, but I can't say for sure. It looks like something that would be in there, but I can't remember. I had torn it out quite a while ago, put it in my stash, and then I happened to be hunting for a certain piece of paper, and I found it. So anyway, this idea was in there, so I just grabbed some of my papers and tore them up and grabbed some coordinating fabrics that I used in this journal and made a little flip. It's just for decoration. It's just something the gypsy in me had to put it there. And this pocket there's a couple of plain papers in here to write on, and another double-sided tag, and another seed envelope, a paper in it. And I took this and just put a little piece of Velcro on it and doubled it, put a piece of writing paper, a couple of notes. And here's more of that trim that used to be a scarf that a friend sent me that I used in my other sea journal. I just love it. And I love the colors of these pages. I always make my journals as if they're for myself. And it seems to appeal to some people, so that's just what I like to do. Whether I give them up or whether I keep them, they're always going to be made as if I'm keeping them myself. So it's basically a composition of things that I love. Pages, images, poems. And this page has a pocket with just little photo cards, actually. You can write a date and where you were or who was there. There's just several of them I just put together with brads. And the brads kind of look like little starfish to me, so that's what I used. And this is a little paper clip. The back is not attractive, but I thought the front, I've made two of them in here. I just like the little layering. I thought it's cute. I used a little bit of stickles, some vintage laces, and torn papers. And I don't know why he's floating around in here, but we'll find him a home. More lined paper, and here's a tiny little tag up here. And another Victorian seaside image. Journaling spaces, and here is another of the little booklets. This one has pages in it. A couple little tags. And there's the, I don't think she wants that. And just a little notebook with Velcro, the clear Velcro. I just love that little image. And I thought it went well with this page, so it slips perfectly down in that little pocket. I just love him. Reminds me of my son. I don't know why. And I love this paper. And I glued it on the three sides and put this plain piece of, it's like a letter. And the other side is coffee dyed with the lace. And it's just one big full sheet of paper that she can write one of her stories. She has many stories from the beach that she said that she loves to write in little notes and stuff, so I'm hoping that she'll have plenty in here. That's just a little card. I thought that was, I love the saying. She told the seashell her story, whispering every secret her memories held. Then she laid the shell at the excuse me, at the ocean's edge and watched the tide pick it up and carry it out to sea. And then she can just write a note on that or a special date that tucks in there. And then this opens, and I put some handmade paper that I had ordered. I did not make this paper, but it's so soft. I love the feel of it. I just did some handmade washi tape to bind it. and put in a couple of cards that were backed in coffee stain paper, and I used a little of the Wink of Stella on all of the seashells. You probably cannot see it. I doubt if you can see it, but anyway, it's just a very subtle, pretty, shimmery look. Sally sells seashells down by the seashore. And no, I won't say it 3 times fast. Another page to journal. A nice big set of tags that I double printed on the other side, just plain so she could write, but I thought these were beautiful tags. I love these tags. I mean cards. I love them. And another Victorian image. Journaling space, journaling space. And this just has a little date card and a coffee stained and backed bookmark. She loves mermaids too, so. And I had to put a little bling on there, little mermaid bling. Not till we are lost do we begin to find ourselves. This is so true. And I made some little shaker cards with seashells and some of the sea glass mermaid tears that I found along Lake Michigan. And this page offers several seashells because she loves seashells, and they're just cards. And each one has a little saying behind it that I just rubber stamped. Some pretty little fabric and a tag that she could write on if she wished. And this is a seahorse used as a tuck spot. I love that little boy image. And this is a pretty heavy bauble. She might want to take that off. I'm not sure, but that's up to her. This page is a tiered pocket, a 3-tiered pocket with just a tag. Ooh, come here, fish. Get out of there. A tag goes in there. A little poem, The Wave. And this has, I love her too. I love that image. She was previously on a page before. And then this one is a nice journaling card. Fits down in here. So a lot of little hidey hole places to put little secret notes. And I just printed on some tissue paper, some aqua that a friend had given me. And here's another shaker card. This one has some vintage children playing at the shore. So I put in some coarse sand. I believe it was from, oh, I shouldn't say it because I'm not sure. Oregon, I think, and some tiny seashells and some glitter. And this is just a little tag. It has that Wink of Stella again, if you can, I can't tell. Anyway. A pretty paper. This is another nice large card to journal on. And a tuck spot with a tag. Another tag and a journaling card, and this tag lifts up to reveal some little writing space, and I just rubber stamped little feet, little bare feet walking along the beach. And pages like this where you, unless you have a dark marker or a pen, you can't do a lot of journaling, but I think it's just right for the washi tape to just tape little notes or photos on. And this pocket has just 2 cards that open and you can journal on them. I just thought that they were pretty. And this is from one of those tag packets from Michael's years ago. I forgot, the EK company, I think. And I had found this in my stash, so I thought it has to go in here. I love the shape of it. So she got my last one. And then I hung, these are from my porch prints. I love those little tags. And here's another paper clip. Where am I? There we go. Just has little torn pages and some stickles and cheesecloth, and it holds this pretty piece of paperie. Oh gosh, something paperie is where she has all this beautiful collaged paper, and that's where that came from. Some places for some photos. Or you could even use the white marker things that were so popular a few years ago. You could write with a white marker, chalk marker. Oh, that's another piece of printed tissue paper. And more lace. Another big bauble. More places to write with chalk marker or to tape or glue some pictures. And this is a map. It has some oceans on it. It's just a blank piece to write on. Because if she has lots of stories, then she's going to want some large pieces of paper. This just has cards in it for her to use. Excuse me. This, I know it looks very raw, but this is so old, this trim, or this lace, and I just wanted it on this page. It's a short page, and it just belongs there, so you have to excuse its ragged appearance. More pages, and little baubles. And this page in the center has a little tuck card spot that I made. Well, first of all, front. I think it was Angela Kerr that I got this idea from, where she puts tissue paper or, oh shoot, I forgot what she called it. Vellum paper in the center. And she colors hers, but I printed a seahorse on mine, and it had this background, so I just left it. Anyway, I decoupaged this and backed it with a card that she could write on, and inside I just inserted a couple of postcards that are also backed. But I really liked that idea. I wanted to use it in this journal to give Pam something different. And this is another papery paper. And some fabric that I had torn off of a larger piece and dyed it aqua. Some old lace and a pretty crystal. And here's another pin paper clip, because I love that little sailor boy. Just a plain paper clip, has a little bit of lace on it. So if Pam runs through the first pen, she'll have another one. Just more papers, empty pages to write on. And some pretty lace and dyed fabric. Oh, this page flips out to write on. Here's a little envelope. It's got a tiny piece of paper in it, but she can put maybe a feather that she found along the shore, the, you know, the little feathers from the seagulls. Speaking of which, I love this paper with just the seagulls. I really love this. And this with the shell, the seashell. It would help with two hands. I'm trying to avoid hitting that knuckle. I don't want that popped. But I love that. That is so pretty. But I do love those. And a couple more pages. More poems. Some fabric ruched along the edge. And a little sand bucket and pail. I mean, sand pail and a little shovel charm. I had two of them, so I gave one up in here. And that is the last of the 5th signatures. And the back page I just collaged and added some more pretty papers from the Handmade Club. I think it was June last year, from Shabby Art Boutique. Carrie Ann is the designer and the owner, and she's going to be, if you join the Handmade Club, it's a monthly club, and after 2 months, if it isn't for you, you can drop out, but I don't know why you would want to. But each month, she sends you a link, and you get the most amazing Victorian, shabby chic images and projects and papers, and they all coordinate, and you can intermix with different kits. But coming in February, she's going to have where you can purchase the back kits. So be watching for that. Again, I will link it under the video because I think it's well worth it. It's one of my favorite designers. I just absolutely love her stuff. So that is that. And the very back, I collaged. I cut out with my Sizzix. I just cut out a center piece, and I layered a fish image between acetate and turned it into a pocket. And I found this in an old book, The Castle by the Sea, so I just backed it so she could write on the back in the cardstock, and then just had another tag that she could write on, just for more journaling space. And I forgot whose idea that was, but if I find it, I will put it in under the video. And that is it. That is Seaside Adventures, and she will be headed to her new home tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.